Welcome, dear viewers, to Anything You Want, your window into the hidden corners of fame, heartbreak, and rebirth. Tonight's story is not about glittering premieres or red carpets, it is about the delicate moment when love, pride, and destiny collide. Before we begin, don't forget to subscribe to Anything You Want, tap that join button to support our channel, and leave your thoughts below. Whose side will you take when love turns into a countdown? In the stillness of a cold October evening, a single phrase rippled through Turkey's entertainment world like thunder echoing across a calm sea. Bebek dogmadan bu is bitmali. This must end before the baby arrives. Those words, spoken by actress Yağmur Yüksel, carried the force of an emotional earthquake. They were not merely words of frustration, but a declaration of independence, a cry for dignity, and perhaps, a final attempt to salvage what little faith remained between her and actor Baris Baktaş, the man who once promised her forever. Yagmar, whose soft-spoken elegance has long been admired on screen, has always been known for her empathy, for the quiet gentleness that made audiences believe in her character's tears. But behind that tenderness, there has always been steel, a woman who stands tall when the world tries to push her down. And now, with a child soon to enter the world, that strength has found its sharpest edge yet. Sources close to the couple whisper that Yagmar's decision came after a long night of reflection, one punctuated by silence, by unanswered calls, and by the ghostly glow of a phone screen revealing things she wished she had never seen. Hidden messages, cryptic exchanges, late-night notifications, the digital fingerprints of doubt. For any woman, it would be enough to break the illusion. But for Yagmar, who has always guarded her private life with quiet pride, it was a wound too deep to ignore. "I cannot bring a child into a storm," she reportedly told her mother, her voice trembling but steady. "Either everything becomes clear now, or I will walk away. He can see our baby in photographs if that's what fate demands." It wasn't rage that guided her, it was resolve. Not the anger of betrayal, but the calm fury of a woman who has had enough of second chances. Those around her say she cried, yes, but only once. And then, with that single act of clarity, she set in motion a chain of events that would grip the nation's imagination. If you've been following Anything You Want, you know that love stories among celebrities are rarely simple. But this is something deeper. Before we dive further, tell us in the comments, if you were in Yagmar's place, what would you do? Could you forgive before the baby is born? Or is trust something that, once broken, never truly returns? And remember, by liking this video and joining our channel, you help us keep telling these stories that reveal the fragile humanity behind the headlines. According to insiders, Baris arrived at Yagmar's door one dawn, drenched in exhaustion and desperation, clutching flowers and that long-hidden ring. "I won't lose her or my baby," he later declared in an audio recording that leaked across social media. "Whatever it takes, I'll do it. This family will not fall apart." For some, his voice sounded sincere, the plea of a man trying to fight against the current of his own mistakes. For others, it was too little, too late. Social networks quickly divided into two armies. Those who hailed him as a man willing to change, and those who saw only an actor performing the most painful role of his career, the repentant lover. The public's fascination only deepened as new details emerged. One tabloid reported that Baris had arranged a private dinner atop a skyscraper overlooking the lights of Istanbul, a symbolic gesture of elevation, a literal climb back to hope. Another claimed he had written a 14-page letter, a stream of ink and regret recounting every moment he realized that Yagmar was, as he wrote, the woman whose name I'll whisper when no one's listening. In one heartbreaking scene recounted by a close friend, Yagmar sat alone in her room, holding the black and white ultrasound image of her unborn child. Her tears, they said, fell silently. "I want him to be born in peace," she whispered, "without inheriting our struggles." Those words, shared later in confidence, struck a chord far beyond her circle. Morning talk shows debated them endlessly. Psychologists were invited to analyze her maternal instinct for boundaries. Feminists hailed her courage. Meanwhile, others urged patience, arguing that Baris, despite his faults, had shown true commitment during the pregnancy, attending every appointment, painting the nursery himself, learning how to cook the meals her doctor prescribed. But then came the third voice, a ghost from Baris's past. His former partner, whose name the press has tactfully avoided repeating, broke her silence with a cryptic post. "I too waited for him to change. He never did. Be careful, Yagmar." Was it jealousy, or a warning born of experience? The country debated. And as the gossip swirled, the couple's private pain became public property. Every expression, every silence, every rumor was dissected in the merciless light of social media. If you're watching this right now, pause for a moment. What do you think? Can a relationship truly survive once trust has been fractured? Tell us in the comments below. And don't forget, if you value stories told with empathy and depth, show your love by subscribing to Anything You Want. Each click helps us bring you the human side of celebrity life. As the days passed, the countdown grew louder, not in headlines, but in Yagmar's swelling belly. Each passing week was another reminder that time was slipping away. Would there be a wedding before the birth, or would the cameras capture the first photo of Turkey's most talked about baby held by a single mother? Then came the moment that no one expected, the reunion. Witnesses say it happened outside the hospital where Yagmar goes for her prenatal checkups. It was early morning. The city was still half asleep under a gray drizzle. Baris arrived quietly, dressed simply, his eyes sunken from sleepless nights. He hesitated, then whispered something that froze even the onlookers. "I didn't come to make you cry," he said. "I came to ask you not to take me away from her first seconds of life." Those words hung in the air like mist, fragile, fleeting, and devastatingly human. Even the hospital staff, used to daily dramas, admitted later that something in that exchange felt sacred. Since that morning, no one knows what the future holds for them. Some say Yagmar has agreed to let him be present at the birth, on the condition that they take time apart afterward. Others claim a quiet reconciliation is already in motion, away from the flashing lenses. What is certain, however, is that both have reached a point of no return, not of conflict, but of truth. Whatever comes next, a last-minute wedding, a public statement, or silent coexistence, it will mark the beginning of a new chapter not only for them, but for the image of love in Turkish celebrity culture. Because beyond the glamour, beyond the cameras, lies a woman who refuses to let her child inherit pain, and a man desperate not to lose the family he never fully learned how to protect. And that, dear viewers, is where we leave tonight's story, suspended between heartbreak and hope. What do you think will happen before the baby arrives? Will Yagmar forgive, or will she walk away with her head held high? Tell us your thoughts below. Your comments bring these stories to life. If you haven't already, hit that like button, subscribe to Anything You Want, and consider joining our channel to help us keep uncovering the truth behind the glitter. Because here, on Anything You Want, we don't just tell stories, we reveal the beating hearts behind the headlines.